Okay, welcome back folks, my name is Last Snow Meal and it's been a while since I did a live on this channel. It's been like, what, 20 days, even more, maybe like a month, since like Cyberpunk came out and I just went live. So, I wanted to go live because I didn't want to spend the next 5 hours making a video on this because I got like... This is probably the last video I'm going to do regarding Schreier and articles like these. So, welcome everyone. I wanted to kind of give an objective opinion on what is going on and everything which happened. So, I don't know, like what was it? 6 hours ago, Jason Schreier released a new article on Bloomberg saying inside Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous rollout. And there's many things here that I want to go through. Some things I agree with, some things I disagree with. I didn't know about this article before because I'm blocked by Jason. I've been blocked by Jason since that other video I did. As soon as that video came out, I got blocked. But yeah, there's many things we have to discuss here like normally. And please, for the love of God, keep things civil. We're all on the same page here. We all want this company to do better. We're all on the same page. But be normal, because I'm really gonna fucking start, go around and fucking ban you. So, yeah. Alright. Now, how has everyone been? Like, how has everyone been? Like, before we go into this, how are you all doing? Are you all doing fine? Hopefully you are. Schreier's right about the management forcing devs to cobble something together in less than 4 years' time. They deserve flag for that. Yeah, I mean, look. Like, I will go through Schreier's article because I don't have his ego, so I can listen to others' opinions and see what they have to say. Now, I don't agree with Schreier on most things because he likes to push an agenda. He doesn't give you the full story. He gives you the story, and some of his stories do make sense, but he doesn't give you an actual, like, broad things. And also, CDPR staff responded to this article, so we'll go through this, and they responded to his tweets. And one more thing, I cannot go through the entire article because of US laws on copyright. So journalists can go and leak stuff, but if you go their article and read it, it's against the law and you can get sued. So that goddamn sucks. But yeah, I've been doing fine, guys. Don't worry, I've been doing fine. So yeah, I just wanted to get this out of the way. I wanted a lore video today, to do a lore video today, but this comes out, everyone makes videos on it, and no one even cares about the lore video. So I'll postpone the lore video for either tomorrow or Monday, because whenever I want to release a lore video, something like this comes out and no one cares about lore. No one cares, and everyone makes videos on this, so it pushes the algorithm itself, so you don't get anything. So, first things first. The article. So if you haven't read it already, inside Cyberpunk's 2077 disastrous rollout, where Jason Schreier talks with a couple of developers who actually did work in CD Projekt, and also he talks about some stuff leading up to it. Now, one thing that he actually starts saying here, and this is the problem, is that the management of CD Projekt knew that the game is not ready, but they still decided to release it. And even though developers were saying that the game is not ready, management had to release it. And ultimately, yes, it comes down to management to release a game or not release the game. Developers don't really have a say on it. I mean, obviously they're going to tell you, look, we need this much or this much time or this much time for this. Things we're having problems, but ultimately the management is going to say, well, it is what it is, but the game is coming out. And that's a problem, like, that's a whole different problem in itself. And one thing which pieces in here is that back in 2016 is when the actual development started. Because, and this is what it says, although Cyberpunk was announced in 2012, the company was then still mainly focused on its last title, which is true, The Witcher 3, and full development didn't start until late 2016, employees said. Which, again, after Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone, yes, You could say that the development kind of started in 2015, 2016, depending on the department which was working on something. That was when CD Projekt essentially hit the reset button, according to people familiar with the project. Jesus. Studio head Adam Badowski took over as director, demanding overhauls to Cyberpunk's gameplay and story. For the next year, everything was changing, including fundamental elements like the gameplay perspective. Top staff who worked on The Witcher 3 had strong opinions on how Cyberpunk should be made, which clashed with Badowski and lead to the eventual departure of several top developers. I know this happens. I know that in every project, when you have, let's say, someone else coming in or some things happen, there is always going to be clashes when it comes to things you work on. Maybe you want it this way, director says this way. Those things happen in every project across the entire spectrum of entertainment. That's not a problem. Jesus, L. Kim is still in denial. No, I'm not in denial. You are in denial, my friend. You know why? Because on the internet, people cannot think rationally or objectively. You read something on the internet and you follow the flock. You don't form your own opinion. You only form opinion of other people. You don't go and do your own research. You don't go and actually read through everything. You just think 100 people said this is how it is. You're going to say this is how it is. That's denial. That's not actually objectively talking about stuff. And if you don't like what I have to say, leave. Like, I don't care. So many blind CDPR fanboys? Nah. You see, this is the problem that I'm talking about. This is the internet. But we don't care about those people because those people cannot think rationally. So I'm just gonna fucking ban everyone who does that. Because I don't care. Now, as I said, you can acknowledge mistakes CDPR made and say, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks big time. And if you legit think that I'm also not pissed on their management, if you legit think I'm not pissed at CDPR management for doing this, you are in denial. But should we go attack devs? Should we go rage on the internet just because? Because that's what people will do. They will go online and rage about everything all the time. Seriously, guys, look at your health. Like, no, I'm telling it real. Your mental health is going to deteriorate if you just only find things to be angry on the internet. That's an actual advice. Alright, so, yeah, I'm pissed. Because every time I make a lore video, every time I want to make a video talking about this game, there's always some dumbasses who come into comments like, if you don't like the game, then piss off. Like, there is no other way to say it. You don't like the game, you refund the game. You can say like, okay, this is bad about the game, this is bad about the game, this is bad about the game. That's fair. But what do we have to do with it? Us YouTubers who talk about the game because we like the game, what's the fucking issue? Seriously. Jesus. This is the problem with the internet. If you don't follow someone else's opinions, you're automatically an enemy. I don't know, it might be the place that I grew up in. I didn't grow up in the States. I grew up in different environment. And we handle things differently here. We don't jump to conclusions like that. And we can, like, and I'm saying on two fronts. I'm not only saying like, people who only say good things about Cyberpunk and they don't acknowledge any issues whatsoever and they don't acknowledge the problems of the company, that's also the problem. But if you only go on a rage train and hate train and say like, oh yeah, that's it, this is the final straw, this is it. Fine, it's your thing, but don't come to other people who actually want to have a normal, logical conversation. Both sides are wrong. Like, if you only praise the game and don't say anything bad about it, you're wrong. If you just talk about bad things and you don't mention anything good, even though there are good things, that's also a different side of the same spectrum. But I like actually being in the middle, you know, forming my own opinions. And I never actually push, like, I can make this and talk about everything that I talk about regarding Cyberpunk, regarding CDPR, but I never say at the end, yes, this is the what it should be. You can form your own opinion. watch me, watch someone else, and form your own opinion. No one, like, I don't want people who only agree with me here on the channel. Like, I don't want yes men around me. Like, screw that. Screw that. Screw that. Screw that. And I'm gonna stand behind what I say. You can dislike and unsubscribe, like, however you want. This is what I'm going to say, and those are my opinions. If you don't like different opinions, then my friend, go and live in a bubble. Like, Jesus Christ. So to continue on the article, most of the things that Jason talks about here, like, they're not wrong. Like, that's the thing. I don't respect him, but I can say that in some things he writes about, he is right. Now, obviously, Jason has a problem of being biased towards some things. But again, you know, sometimes he actually writes something good. In this case, it's like 50-50, most of the things he said. So we said that there was a change in 2016 where project had to be restarted. That happens. That happens when someone goes in and is like, I don't like this, we need to do this. And that can always be a problem for team leads and developers working on it, because that creates more confusion. Then you have to scrap some things. You have to scrap some things that you worked on, and it's like, we have to start all over again. And when you start all over again, you have to give enough breathing room. You have to give enough breathing room so that the game can actually be fleshed out correctly. Thunderbeer, thank you so much for your donation. A shame that people in charge didn't give the developers at CDPR the year they needed to finish the project, but I kept my pre-order, as I do believe they regret their decision and will work on fixing it. That's the thing. Like, management essentially should have organized this better. There is no denying that. No one is saying that they shouldn't. They should have actually worked on their management skills to fix this, because this is not the first time it's happening. The Witcher also had similar issues. And of course, they started working on those issues, they started implementing programs, but sometimes it's not that, like crunch. People are always going to crunch. But if I crunch, and if I have to do something, at least don't bullshit me. And that's something that managers can do sometimes. You're going to crunch and they're never going to be happy with what you do. That's a problem. But if I'm crunching for something that I actually like, then screw it. But developers, they need the healthiest goddamn environment to work in to give you something good. Because if you're not working in a healthy environment, you're not going to give 100% of yourself towards a project. You're not. That's the thing. Now I'm also going to go into demo, and because it's apparently fake. Now, a fake there is, you know, crazy thing, but yeah, we'll see. Just a sec. I do apologize. I'm live here, so where was it? Let me just give me a sec. Oh yeah. There is it. About the demo. So something appeared about the demo as well, where they said it was entirely fake, almost entirely fake, and this is what Jason wrote. Quote, fans and journalists were wowed by Cyberpunk 2077's ambition and scale. What they didn't know was the demo was almost entirely fake. CD Projekt hadn't yet finalized and coded the underlying gameplay systems, which is why so many features such as car ambushes were missing from the final product. They did. Developers said they felt like demo was a waste of months that should have gone towards making the game. Okay. Now, by fake, they don't mean fake as in they show the video and that's it. Someone actually played through the demo in front of people, like someone was with a controller playing. What they make here is that some of the lines of code that were implemented there were actually never implemented later, which can happen in development. You scrap some things, you add some things. Now, obviously, if at that time CDPR knew that some of those things are going to be scrapped, like they knew, let's say they knew that wall running or flathead are going to be scrapped before they released the demo, that would be misleading. But if it's after, I don't know. Like, entirely fake, I don't know if it's entirely fake. Now, obviously, if they spruced up the demo, but I don't know, like some of the things that were in that demo in the final release, like things that were lacking were, you couldn't climb on walls. And what was the second? Yeah, flathead. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, yeah. The car ambush, there was the car ambush from that demo was included, but no further car ambushes ever happened. So yeah. Let's see. Anthem had a demo that no one played. Did they actually play Anthem like in front of journalists with a controller in their hand, or did Anthem just play a video in the background? Because that makes a huge difference in my opinion. And I get it that maybe the demo was twisted in some forums, and that's okay. That's okay. Because honestly, CDPR should learn from this. And like, these things shouldn't happen. These things should have been thought about. Like, they had issues with The Witcher 3. These things should have been paid attention to. And it feels to me like in some cases, like, I think someone maybe underestimated the game. Or the scope of the game. And someone definitely underestimated, like, regarding, like, just how much work developers need. Because as you play through the game, let's say I like the game. I personally like the game. If you don't like the game, that's your opinion, and that's totally okay. You could see that in some cases they clearly haven't finished some things. You can clearly see that some things have been cut. And I have my problems about the game. I have it. But still, like, in some opinion, I think people are blowing this way over every proportions that should. And I'm still trying to figure out, like, okay, almost entirely fake demo. What? I played through that mission. It was the same mission. I played through the mission. We all played through the mission. Like, what was changed? Like, maybe someone I'm making a mistake. Like, but when someone says entirely fake, nothing was changed in that certain, like, that certain mission stayed how it was. Like the demo, you can actually play through that mission. So how is it fake? Entirely fake. Systems can be fake, or systems that were implemented can be actually removed. That's normal. And yes, CDPR should be more open about this, or during their next project, don't talk about stuff. Just leave it under wraps, and it's better to wait. It's honestly better to wait. But yeah, this whole thing with like, honestly, that first trailer for Cyberpunk was a mistake. I know it was for just testing the grounds and seeing if it's gonna work, but that trailer was released such a long time ago that people have these, like, you can announce a project and leave it completely and then come back to it later on. That's just how things go. Now, oh, good morning, Mad Queen. Welcome. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm in the wrong here, but I don't know. But we must agree, lack of day-night cycle was something about... Lack of day-night cycle? What do you mean? Yeah. So basically what they're saying is fake is like the code underneath that demo, which is like wasted code, which is never going to be used. That's what they think about fake. But entirely fake? Give me a break. Give me a break. Now, there is other thing, like, let me see, like, obviously, yeah, and then COVID happened in 2020, and obviously that also, like, not probably, but definitely damaged the development itself. Jesus. Alright, next thing. Now, Jason goes on in some things. I'm gonna switch the actual camera. And this is what Jason says. In the wake of yesterday's CD Projekt video, I think it's worth noting that QA testers get paid at least 12 to 15 hours if they're lucky, much less in Poland. worked the most 50-60 hours a week for months on end and are often blamed for bugs they discovered but were ignored. Łukasz Babiel from CD Projekt Red, who is a QA lead for CD Projekt Red and QA lead for Cyberpunk 2077, talks about these things, and he replies to him, especially this first one. Base QA salary at CDPR starts at roughly 75% of national average in Poland for inexperienced QA analysts and can go higher than 200% of national average for most experienced QA analysts. As a lead, I make sure that salaries go up regularly. On top of that, QA has access to free private medical care, minimum 20 paid days of holiday, gets 150-200% paid overtime, much like the rest of the studio in accordance with Polish law, participate in a 401k, which is, I believe, pension fund equivalent, and in annual bonus payout 10% of CDP's yearly profit for all employees. Also, QA coordinators get an extra allowance every half a year for managing their teams. I don't hire people part-time, everyone is on a permanent contract after a trial period. This is extremely important because you can have all of these laws which apply to employees, not contractors. If you have contractors, like in US, you have a bunch of people who are employed as contractors, that's when you skip all of those, benefits you have as someone working. So it's good that they're all actually working under contract because they actually fall into the laws by Polish government and by Polish laws, which is good ultimately for the worker because they're going to get paid more, get bonus on their salary. Okay, I won't compare this to US salaries in dollars because then you should take into account consideration local purchasing power or average salaries in each country. Yeah, this is also important. Like, in some countries you're going to make an average, doesn't matter where you work, but you're also going to get some bonuses. But I think that the example you gave put CDPR treatment of QA in an unjust context. I'm so glad someone did this. Are often blamed for bugs they discovered but were ignored. And he also talks about this. Two things here, because you didn't specify. If you're talking about being blamed by gamers, general public, yes, it happens sometimes, you're right. But I assume that you put statement in a CD Projekt video context. Nobody is blaming QA at the studio, and Marcin did not also did not do that in his video. Should the sentence in question be written differently? I think so, because it leaves a lot of room for an easy bad faith interpretation. But that is something for our internal discussion. What's important is that I know that I work with amazing people, I have really professional and dedicated QA team, and we'll be fine. We'll continue to work on the game patches so the players will have the best experience possible. There you go. I love when a developer working at a company actually talks about stuff that's not Jason, but, you know, people write about. Because they're going to give you an actual, he doesn't have an agenda. He's just working there, and he's giving you his honest opinion. QA testing on PS4 was ignored, surely ignored by management, not ignored by QA team. A QA team is going to say, sir, we have these issues. We have issues. And management is going to say, well. And that's when QA gets blamed. Trust me, they know, but management failed to properly organize certain tasks. And you ultimately just get those tasks on a list, a pending list, and they might be revisited later. That's how it is. QA testing was lied about by management, yeah. Because management is ultimately the one who is going to say, we can release this or release that. But no one is throwing anyone under the bus. I had 2 developers so far from CDPR on Twitter publicly say, no, he wasn't throwing QA under the bus. He wasn't. Now, there is also one more thing after this, Jesus, this whole payment situation. He likes to talk about that a lot. A few non-Polish staffers shared stories about co-workers using Polish in front of them, which violated company rules. Made them feel ostracized, they said. Were their co-workers talking smack about them? Combined with crunch and low salaries, this led quite a few expats to quit. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Oh my god. So you are in Poland and you have a few Polish staffers talk Polish. That's a problem? That is ostracizing? They're talking smack about you? No. No, they're speaking their own language. They're speaking their own language. If I, from Bosnia, went into Austria to work and I said, no, I don't know German, you know what they would say? Well, get out. Raus. That's what they would say. Because sometimes you will have people talking in their own language. Like, what's this? Jesus, I don't know. Like, can you guys make an actual, like, I'm sorry, but some of these comments, dude. Are you for real? They spoke Polish in front of them. Oh my god. Oh, terrible. Jesus. All right, let's see what everyone's saying here. Well, you'll see in a few months another game from another dev will be the same condition. The company won't face any flack. That's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that companies should get away with, let's say, how they treat their employees. No. I'm on the side of developers and always will be. Like, screw the corporate stuff. But it's important if you're talking about issues, like, I'm not a journalist, I just make videos. I don't consider myself a journalist. But if I was gonna do that, I would say, I would go on both sides. I would capture the story on both sides, because it's important to say and to read and to hear what both sides have to say on everything, because that's how you make your proper opinion. So, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, imagine living in Europe and being upset when someone speaks a European language other than English. They're breaking the company policy. Let me tell you something from, like, Slavic perspective. When Slavs argue, we argue in our own language. We are not going to argue in English because we don't have the vocabulary to argue in English. So we're going to argue in our own language. So Slavic people are just going to switch their own language once they start arguing. That's normal. But some of these comments, like, obviously, and we were waiting for, like, I was waiting for this article. I knew Jason is going to release this article. And ultimately, my opinion on this article, he talks about some things which are actually good and make valid points, but other stuff, absolutely, Jesus. That's obviously, like, nitpicking certain things. And it's not just gonna be Cyberpunk, there's gonna be other games and other games which are going to do this. And as I said, my trust in CDPR, as well as pretty much everyone else's, is shaken, not stirred. But when you're in this position, at least in my opinion, I'll say, okay, you screwed up. Let's see what you do in the future. If you screw up again, oof. But if you screwed up and people went after you like they did with Cyberpunk and everything which is been going around here, and you don't learn, that's a problem. And I do hope from the bottom of my heart that the management learns that they should have sticked with when it's ready. They should have stick with that. And obviously, those management decisions have to be changed. Like, that's... Wow, well, can we look at both sides? I mean, actual journalism, can you teach? I mean, that's the thing, I don't have an agenda. Like, like, I don't, like, people think that if CDPR is successful, I have some benefit. I don't have benefit from CDPR being successful or unsuccessful. Like, obviously, I want them to make games. That's the thing, but I am not involved with them. I don't get paid for anything, so I don't it's like, why would I be emotionally attached so much to something? Now, Tomasz Kaminski. If you look at the sales and hate, it's something strange. I mean, there are 13 million copies sold so far, maybe more like now, because it's been a while since that came out. And if you have 13 million people buying the game, like, obviously they're playing the game. And I understand that some people are disappointed in some things, I understand, and there's only so much they can do. And sometimes you have to realize that's the game. That's the game. It's not good for you. It happens. I mean, there's a bunch of games that come out. I don't play. I don't like them. But you don't see me going around talking smack about it. But yeah. Which is usually your native language? Bosnian. And that's the thing. And of course, I'm gonna be defending developers because developers just work there. They're giving their best to give you the game, and I don't like when people attack them. Not just CDPR devs, but all of the devs in the entirety of the gaming industry. That's the problem. Let's see what else. Stop finger pointing, just fix the game. I don't think they're finger pointing. Like Madison said, look, it's up to us. Like it's our blame, and it is. It should be, absolutely should be. As it should. But we'll see, like, because the future is going to determine if they changed or not. Like, so far, okay, they released a video, alright, you said what you had to say, now let's see the action. Obviously, things cannot happen, sadly, overnight, but yeah. It's gonna take a while until this game is, like, properly fixed. It's gonna take. I'm wondering how much it's going to be fixed after the first update, which is coming out in a few days, and also the second update, which is coming out in a few weeks. You would actually have more gain by bashing CDPR rather than being nuanced? Well, that would be me lying to you. And it's not just with CDPR, like, I talked about different companies, like, I'm going to say what I have to say. And I'm not gonna jump on hate or hype trains at the same time. And also what I've been saying before the game even came out. Limit your hype. Limit your hype. Because I've had people in my comments before the game came out making all of these assumptions about what the game is going to be. I'm like, no, calm down. It doesn't go that way. So, I don't know. I would love to hear you in Bosnians. I think I never heard you. Slabo pričam bosanski. Yeah. He hung the QA guys out dry though. They did not hype it up. The player base did hype it up, but also CDPR was saying some things through their marketing campaign. They were saying some things which obviously can be misinterpreted differently. Like, that's normal. Could CDPR pull off some extra content for free because of this mess? Honestly, I would do it. If I was CDPR, I would say like, hey, like they're gonna have free DLCs, like that's okay. But if I was CDPR, I would legit give more free content, like, you know, get some things involved. But again, don't force developers to do it. Just like, I don't mind the crunch, but it cannot be all the time. Like, it's impossible. In development culture, you cannot have anything without crunch. Or, well, that's the industry term, crunch, or working more. Thunderbeard, I read your... It's never the developers' fault. The devs are some of the most passionate in the industry, so I'm glad that the upper management are owning up to it. They have to own up to it now with action. They have to own up now in action. Alright. Let's see. What do I think about fake marketing and fake... yeah, some of the things they said didn't pan out to be true. And my advice to CDPR, I don't know if no one's gonna listen to my advice, but my advice is CDPR for the future, keep things under wraps. It's just better. Like, it's better to honestly, like, announce a game maybe year and a half, maybe 1 year when you're sure that the game is coming out. That's okay, because 12 to, let's say, 6 to 10 to 12 months, that can be okay wait time. I mean, honestly, I would have no issues to wait for this game until like 2022. I would have no issues to wait for it. If that meant the game would be worked on even more. Some people disagree with me, some people will agree with me, but you tell me what's the best thing. I mean, obviously the best thing would be is that they realized those mistakes when they were making the game in the first place. That obviously things are not gonna go the way that you wanna go. Those things should have been solved before. Like, that's totally something I agree with. That's totally something I agree with. Yeah. And now they have these lawsuits now. CDPR has to deal with also, I think Poland is going to do an investigation to see what actually happened. Jesus, this is... Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it could be just me, but I see all of these other companies putting microtransactions and all of these kind of programs into games to match you with certain people who paid and someone who didn't. And then I see this and it's like, alright, yeah, they screwed up big time. But that's the thing when you post yourself in the gaming industry as the good guy. Whatever you do, like, even if it's not as remotely as bad, but it's still a bad decision, you're gonna get twice or 10 times more hate. That's sadly the truth. But now it's like, yeah, the only thing you can do to change public's opinion, just release the updates. Like, talking doesn't help, especially not on the internet. It's going to just continue and spiral into constant discussion, and it doesn't go that way. Do you think they should be less transparent? They should be transparent, but they should post less info until they're sure. Because, you know, it's just how things are. You post something and the internet clings to it, and it's like, it's the truth. And when people search for this game, they're going to see, oh yeah, the game is going to have wall running. And even though it has been said a long time ago, like, I still have people saying, like, you can't wall run in the game, or you cannot, like, grab and climb. It's like, yeah, that has been solved a while back. That has been removed ages ago. And because internet clings on those things, articles are being written about it. And when you have the articles written about it, people are going to read it and like, oh, and they're going to play the game and they're going to say, wait, where is it? Because not everyone does research on every single article. Next time, when they're done, they should delay the game just to be sure. Yeah. So now, let's see what they have to do. So this was my opinion on Jason's article. I think some valid points have been raised, but ultimately pushing an agenda is still pushing an agenda, and I know that because I was blocked as soon as I said something which wasn't agreeing with Jason. I got blocked, and not just me, but a lot of people. And I think, yeah, I would actually respect him a bit more if he just allowed for some criticism and comments, because people who criticize me, fuck, it is what it is. I'll only block people if they're dumbasses and if they actually, like, legit insult me. But if they don't agree, then you don't agree. That's it. Do you think Witcher 3 ray tracing will be delayed? No. Regarding Witcher and that edition, another company, or well, their partner, is going to adapt the Witcher next gen. They're not doing it. They're only doing the Cyberpunk one, but they're not doing the Witcher one. But because also the Witcher on Switch was ported by a different company. They actually hire out partners to do that. So I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Witcher. Those people are going to do that, and CDPR, or well, the main staff is going to focus. But what this is going to delay, well, as we had seen from the roadmap, this is going to delay expansions. And that's the thing, like, I don't mind it, because they're going to first use that time to fix the game. It's still bad, but, you know, they're working on it. You have studios which never fix the game. The game comes out, it's gone. What's happening with Anthem? Weren't we promised like a rehaul of the game? Overhaul of Anthem? Where is it? Like, yeah. He doesn't say anything positive. Like, that's the thing, because I cannot only talk about negativity. I cannot. Like, People lie to themselves when they don't express their own opinion. And it seems to me that sometimes people are afraid to express their own opinion just because of the internet. Like, fuck that. I'll say what I want to say. I still don't understand the fake demo comment. We got to play, so it was puzzling. We already knew that the demo was a vertical slice made for the public. Now, yeah, making demos is difficult. Like, if you actually just want to make a demo for a game and release it as a standalone package, that can be complicated, extremely complicated. It's not that easy. But I don't know, in this case, when they talk about fake demo, or I don't know, like, what is fake here? If we're talking about mechanics in the game, we knew that some of those mechanics are gonna be out. The mission itself hasn't changed from the actual demo. Graphics were improved upon. So I don't know. If someone can legit explain me what is fake here, or like fake is, I don't know. Witcher 2 is also broken as hell. Let me remember, because I played The Witcher 2 on release. It had issues. I remember it had issues. Honestly, like, even now, The Witcher 2 with Uber sampling, it's tough. It's tough to run it. No Man's Sky did it, CDPR can definitely do it. Oh yeah, I remember No Man's Sky. When No Man's Sky came out, it was hell. Oh my god, people were raging. And I was also a little bit disappointed on No Man's Sky because I was genuinely excited about that game, but I don't know, like, No Man's Sky gave you a lot of things. Well, it didn't give you a lot of things they promised. Much more, like, CDPR said, like, some things, like, are not gonna be in the game. But when people are saying about cut content, like, what exactly do we know has to be cut? Now, I'm not saying the content wasn't cut. It was definitely cut. And for example, the first couple of, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but the Jackie hole, that intro, should have been longer. Just so you can connect more with Jackie. I think that was a wasted opportunity. Always stay true to who you are, my dude. You're a great person. Thanks, man. Thanks. Don't overhype me, though. Don't overhype me. But Witcher 3 was broken at launch too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was having resolution issues with The Witcher 3. That was fixed. But that's the thing, like, the bigger your game is, like, the more smack you're going to get. And because this is the age of internet and the age of mobs on both sides, like, Jesus, I've been seeing people fight on Twitter, and it's like, both sides, you're both wrong. Both of you. So yeah, like, I don't know. At least Resident Evil 8 will be good on release. Don't jinx it, man. You still have a Christmas tree? Yeah, I'll leave the Christmas tree until like the end of January. Because I don't know, it's like, January is bland as it is. Oh my god, I forgot to turn it on. Yeah, that's my bad. There's a big list sourced of cut content. Yeah, I'll go through it. Now, yes, there is definitely cut content. Like, I'm not denying that. I'm not living in fantasy world saying that nothing has been cut. Of course it has been cut. Of course. Sra playthrough almost beat for beat. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, some of these things, especially now with, like, developers speaking Polish in front of them. Jesus. Give me a break. Stupid. Alright, so I'll be completely honest, I think Badovsky needs to go. Alright, that's an interesting argument. But, when I think about that, I'm thinking like, okay, who needs to be replaced? Or is it a good decision to replace him? Now, I don't think Badovsky is a bad person. Absolutely not. What he needs to, that's the problem. I don't want to talk too much into this because I don't know the inside of CDPR, and unlike some of the people who write shit, I cannot talk about that stuff. But honestly, if Badowski goes, maybe he's gonna replace by someone who's going to screw things up. I hope he learns. Hope the management actually learns that you need to just respect not respect, they respect their devs, but just listen to them a bit more. What do you think free DLC will be? I think free DLCs are gonna be like some missions, maybe some armor, maybe a new vehicle, something like that. Don't expect anything huge. Because, I mean, that's just something I took from The Witcher. The Witcher had free DLCs were, was it the barbershop as well, their DLC? But you have alternative looks for Yennefer, Ciri, I think Triss. You had extra armor pieces, you had a couple of missions, different hairstyles. So it could be maybe the same thing. There was some monster hunting involved with some of the free DLCs, some armor sets. So it might be the same with this. Like expansions, that's where you can see progress. But in free DLCs, that's just, you know, some extra stuff, some missions. I don't expect anything huge. Time to choose. The biggest issue is the game is underwhelming and disappointing. That's a very subjective opinion. That's subjective. Like something like underwhelming and disappointing. I don't know. Personally, I enjoyed it. But again, if I enjoyed it, doesn't mean you should enjoy it. Or if you don't enjoy it, doesn't mean I shouldn't enjoy it. That's just how things go. Will the cut content rejoin the base game? Depends. That depends if they actually want to do it. That's ultimately that. Do they want to bring some of that content back in the future? Maybe they want to do something new. Who knows? That's up to them. That's actually up to them. Yeah. There's also investors, which can be a problem, definitely. I really like your accent. Of course, you enjoyed it. You have a CDPR based channel. This is it. Carlo Ferrer. If someone doesn't agree with you, they are automatically based. This is internet mentality for you. This is internet mentality for you. You see, when you disagreed with the game, I don't say, okay, it's your right to disagree with something. But when I do it, it's like, oh no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do it. You should only think what I think. Get the fuck out. I'm a Cyberpunk based channel. Even though I talk about other stuff, I'm a Cyberpunk based channel. Even though in my review, I never actually graded the game. Or, well, rated the game. I just said I enjoyed it. Look at this video and look at other reviews if you're not sure. I'm not gonna sell you the game. I give you my opinion of the game. I play the game. I have no benefit if I sell you the game. Directly or indirectly. I'm not an investor in CDPR. I don't get a cut from that. So for me, it doesn't matter. Cheers and good morning from Philly, USA. Oh, hello. Good morning. Good morning. I'm obviously gonna be going off now. This stream was never gonna be huge. I need to work on lore videos and other videos. I'm gonna be talking about Outriders as well. Outriders is they posted an actual like message saying it's gonna be, I think, 1st of April that the game is gonna be unlocked or something. And I'm not shilling for the game. Just something I got this. So I'm probably gonna be getting my hands on Outsiders. So Outriders, sorry, not Outsiders. Outriders. So we'll be talking about that in the future as well. I'll be testing it out, see how it goes, see if the game, like, I honestly like those kind of games, so I'll test it out. No, honestly, like, people have been also giving Legacy a lot of smack for what he says. Like, Legacy, no, I've no problems against Legacy, against Michael. I think Michael talks about stuff, and he talks about the stuff the same. Like, I've been following Michael when he was talking about issues Rockstar had when they were developing Red Dead 2, and he still likes Red Dead 2, but he talks about the issues. Talking about issues doesn't make him a bad person. That's what I said. If someone has a different opinion, it doesn't mean it's automatically wrong or whatever. And yeah, I have nothing against Michael, or because Michael will say, yeah, he's going to acknowledge these are the good things of the game, but these are bad things that the game has, and I'm fine with that. Same as Angry Joe and everyone, like, that's their right. 1st of April, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, no, the thing is, when Fallout 76 came out, oh, there was a lot of smack for that. And for me, like, when I played Fallout 76 on release, I couldn't play. The game was falling apart completely. I couldn't play it at all. Cyberpunk I could play. It had bugs and glitches, but I could play it. But even then, when Fallout 76 came out, I did say, like, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it's representative of the previous work, but at the same time, I always said to people, play Fallout 76. If you like the game, play it. It's your money. You spend it, you enjoy it. Like, that's the thing with I'm with this, like, because I always try to find something positive. I don't operate on hate. I don't operate on attacks and that stuff. It's just wrong. It's just wrong, and people shouldn't do that. It's gonna be better for you internally, trust me. So yeah, that's everything for today. I'll continue to make lore videos and other videos, and I'll probably have another video tomorrow. I wanted a lore video today, but it's just gonna be buried in the YouTube algorithm under all of these news. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking by. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of people unsubscribe after the game came out because they thought I was deceiving them. To be honest, whatever CDPR releases, we talk about it. We don't say like, oh yes, but it's just we share the same news as everyone else. And if people actually think that I wasn't disappointed by CDPR management, they're wrong. And people can twist my words whatever they want, honestly. Thunderbeard, thank you so much for another donation. Once they get the glitches sorted and missing features added, I'm excited as a big fan of Cyberpunk genre, as there is also potential here. Yeah, and also when I talk about Cyberpunk lore, there is a huge lore spanning over 30-something years, written by Mike Pondsmith and his team at Art Alsorian Games. So this is not only on CDPR. Like, when I talk about Cyberpunk, I talk about the entirety of the universe. So it's not only Cyberpunk 2077, it's the universe in general, which spans across video game and tabletop RPGs. Hey, Mad Queen, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Everyone go visit her. She's an encyclopedia when it comes to lore. When we have a question about lore, we go to Mad Queen. How old am I? I'm 25. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Thank you everyone for just doing this. Honestly, I'm fine. Like, I'm not even like mad. It's the state of the internet, and it's just how things are gonna go. So yeah, new video tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining, and yeah, stay classy everyone, and have a great day. Like, don't worry too much about hate. Relax a bit. 2020 has been rough on us. We don't know what 2021 is gonna be. Don't stress yourself too much. Your health is going to deteriorate, and we don't want that. So yeah, LKM signing out. Stay classy, and you have all the links for Twitter, Discord, whatever. Bye bye.